Welcome to my armchair. My name is Julia and I am going to make a cooking video because apparently if you watch enough YouTube cooking videos you start to think, oh, why not make one myself? I'm preparing for something called the CAP Cuisine. It's a culinary exam in France where I currently live. Normally you would take this test after, 2 years of schooling, apprenticeship, formal training of some kind. I don't have the time or money for that, so I've bought myself the textbook that the kids use and I'm training myself at home. What could go wrong? The recipe today is called a thing in French. It's called a Bavarois. It looks like this. This is what it looks like. I was gonna cook a duck, but it's still frozen because I froze it earlier. Doesn't matter to you. Maybe I'll cook it later, but for now I gotta make this. I have an hour and a half because I have an appointment with the French administration, and heaven forbid you be the slightest bit late to an appointment with the French administration, so let's get started. I've got ingredients, I've got the stuff, I've got the moxie, I've got the talent, I don't know. Let's go. First things first, the ingredients. Here they all are for the creme anglaise. I'm sorry, I hate saying French words in the middle of a sentence in English because you really sound pretentious and you can't avoid it. There's the cold things. I put a bowl in the fridge and a whisk in the fridge and the cream in the freezer because the cream was at room temperature previously. Because when you whip cream, the colder all your stuff is, the better and faster it'll whip. There's the milk. I brought it up to almost a boil, and while it was heating up, I whisked up the eggs and then I added the sugar. Now, you can't just dump sugar and eggs and leave it there because it'll burn them. I don't really know what it means for it to burn the eggs because clearly there's no heat, but there's some chemical reason. And so when you whisk up the sugar and the eggs, it looks kind of like this. It's a little bit thick, it's nice, it's ready for the hot milk. And you add that hot milk little bit by little bit because if you add it all at once, the hot milk will scramble the room temperature eggs. Apparently it's called tempering. And there's your vocabulary word for the day. Now, I thought that I was being smart with this shot, but clearly it's just, what's the word? Overexposed by the light coming in from the back? Who knows? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. But you'll notice that I keep touching the bowl with my hand. That's because I'm checking to see if it's warm. Because once the egg and milk mixture is warm, that means it's ready to be returned to the bowl in which I had heated up all the milk. And then what am I gonna do? You guessed it, keep on whisking. Once you've got all the eggs, all the milk, all the sugar, all the whatever in that pot, you're gonna keep on whisking. Or apparently stirring with a wooden spatula, because I guess I did that. First it'll look like this. It'll have a little bit of frothy white milky stuff on the top, and then as you keep on going, it will be a more uniform color, a little bit thicker, and you can do what I think is called the spoon test. I forgot what it's actually called, but you run your finger down the back of a spoon or a spatula, and if the two sides don't run together, you're good to go. Now here's my gelatin. I was supposed to use that sheet gelatin, which I thought I'd already bought, but I hadn't. So I just measured out the same weight in powdered gelatin, and guess what? It was fine. You just have to soak it in water first, just like you would with the sheet gelatin. Whisk it all up in there, and then strain it out to make sure there's no bits and bobs. Now here I added a little bit of coffee flavoring because this thing has 3 layers, 1 coffee, 1 vanilla, and 1 chocolate. However, the chocolate... We've hit a roadblock. I was so sure of myself, I was bopping along. No big deal. Made the creme anglaise. Easy. Done it a million times, or at least like 7 or 8 times. And then I started to make the stuff to mix in for the flavors. And I have a coffee extract. I already put in the vanilla. And I don't have a chocolate thing. You're supposed to use a special type of chocolate to mix it in. And I thought, oh, no big deal. I've got this bar of dark chocolate. I'll just melt it and mix it in. And so I tried to do that and added a little bit of the cream to the chocolate. And I know that this happens, and it's seized up, because that's what chocolate does. If you add liquid, like a water or a cream, to chocolate, it seizes up, and it does this, which I cannot mix in with the cream. I cannot mix this in with the cream, because it's just gonna be lumpy. It tastes fine, I'm gonna eat it. like this. It's still just chocolate. I can't mix it with the cream. Anyway, we're just gonna have 2 flavors, vanilla and coffee, because I have no chocolate alternative. It's fine. On the CAP Cuisine, I would have had the correct kind of chocolate, probably. Anyway, keep going. And keep going I did. I took all the cold stuff back out of the fridge without letting anything fall on the floor, which honestly, you know what, that's an accomplishment. And yeah, I totally thoroughly washed that whisk. It's fine, it was just in a different milk mixture before, and now it's going into cream. What's the big deal? And now I keep whisking. At this point, I have no hand mixer, because you know what, I gotta do it myself, and yes, I just spewed a bunch of cream on my dress. It's fine. That's one of 7 just black dresses I have. If you open up my closet, it's maybe 2 pairs of pants, a couple of t-shirts, and I don't know, 5 million black dresses? I'm getting a good workout on my right arm here. I wish this were real speed, but obviously I sped it up. And then to prove that it was fully whipped, I did the stupid bowl over the head test. It did not fall on my head, but you know what? This could have been a viral video if it did. Oh, I have regrets for whipping it properly. At this point, you then carefully fold the whipped cream into the different creme anglaise. Into the different creme anglaise mixes. There's the whipped cream going into the coffee one. I'm getting it fully whipped in. You're really not supposed to over-fold it. When I looked back at this and saw the length of time that I filmed myself folding that whipped cream into the creme anglaise, I realized, you know what? I might have overfolded it, but here's what it looked like in the end. How beautiful. I love it. It is thick. It's beautiful. I'm mesmerized. And then I folded the remainder of the whipped cream into the plain vanilla one, because once again, I ruined the chocolate. So it's just coffee and vanilla. You'll notice the vanilla is a lot more liquid. That's probably because I did not properly parse out the whipped cream, and there was less of it in the vanilla flavor, and probably overfolded it. Oh well. At this point, you will then leave a layer of vanilla in the mold, let it chill for a little bit, and then put a layer of coffee on top. I did not let the vanilla layer chill as long as I should have, so the 2 layers mixed together a little bit. It's fine. This isn't the test day. I can make a mistake. And then after I let the coffee layer cool for a little bit longer, I added the final layer of vanilla on top. And as you can see, the vanilla layer is clearly more liquid because once again, I probably both overfolded it and did not add enough whipped cream to it. But it's got gelatin in it. It will set either way, so we're just gonna carry on. Now, I'm going to show you this next piece because it really awakened me to my own sins, my own shortcomings, because you see, I will often do this dumb French accent with my spicy French lover. I thought it was showing that I'm a fun girl with a lot to offer, and now I realize how horribly wrong I was.
Okay.
It's finished. It will go in the...
She's so good.
She's so good, but it will go in the refrigerator.
Is there enough room?
I hope so. I am supposed to put plastic wrap on top. Plastic wrap on top. We ran out of plastic wrap, and so I will not use it because I forgot to buy more of it. It is your fault, yes. It's not my fault, it's never my fault. It is always the fault of the boyfriend of the chef.
Of the chef?
Yes. But it is done, it is finished. I did it. I'm so sorry for that. I just needed someone to bear witness. But now we can move on and unmold my lovely Bavarois. Here's what it looks like when it is all set up. It is not moving around. It is clearly solid. And here's the thing that I was going to put it in when it was done because that's the only platter I had that was big enough. It was arguably too big, but oh well. We unmold it by putting it in hot water, and yeah, don't burn yourself like I did, because that was stupid. And then you unmold it as such. thusly. In this way you unmold it. And whoops, turns out, oh no, the water was way too hot. So definitely don't use boiling water. I sat in a dark room, ate a really large salad, and contemplated, where did I go wrong? It was a simple recipe. What happened? We pick up, we continue, we move on with our lives. Now once it's set back up again in the fridge, I was able to scoop away the melted part with a spoon. After I scooped it up with a spoon, I went in even with a paper towel and sopped up all the messy edges. And do you know what? I think that looks nice. Even with the melted part, it gave it this cool tiger stripe water marbling design. And I can say, you know what? It was intentional. I meant to do it. I cut into it, which can I tell you is an extremely satisfying feeling. Would you look at that knife going through it like butter? And that's what it looked like on the inside. I did appreciate the even layers on the inside, even if, oops, I did a very bad job of transferring it. Oh well. Here it is. I had a hard time cutting it. Let me see. I mean, tastes great. I'm gonna finish this thing because it tastes incredible. I had a little bit of trouble in the unmolding. Turns out you really don't need to use boiling water. Just hot water will do, and you don't have to keep it going for that long. Just a couple seconds, or else the whole outside melts all over the pan. I feel as though there is a hair here and it's really bothering me. I went into this one honestly pretty confident. I thought no big deal. I can make a creme anglaise any day I want to. You just gotta whisk some gelatin in, add some flavoring, you're good to go. Chocolate was an issue. And then obviously the unmolding. I think that if I were to serve this, specifically like this, on the CAP Cuisine, I don't know if I'd get a passing score. I really don't know how much the aesthetics count or they're scored on the exam. Taste, totally fine. The soupy unmolding, why did I think when I started making these videos that some of them were going to have to turn out perfectly? Anyway, hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna eat this and watch more dumb YouTube videos, and have a nice night.